In this video, we're going to be replacing the rear driver's side window regulator on this 2008 Acura MDX. To start this job, you're going to want to start with your window all the way down. You will have to remove your door panel and then reinstall your door panel. But to start with your window all the way down. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is look for the screws or bolts that hold this door panel on. One's going to be behind here. Use a small flat screwdriver and pop this clip and panel back. So you can use a pick tool to get in behind this panel and pull it out. But you want to do this without marking up the cover itself here. Okay, so we have a couple of Phillips screws in there. So I'm going to guess that we have some screws or some bolts underneath this plastic trim piece. If you can actually look on the side, you can see that this has been pried up before. So there either are screws in here or there aren't, and somebody tried this as well. Okay, and we do have one in here, one in here, and that should be the two, along with these guys holding this door panel on. All right, so our Phillips screws, we're gonna go for the two big black screws on top, not the small little silver guy in the corner here. All right, now we have one here. And one more in here. All right, so right in here we found a little opening that we can just get our fingertips in. We're gonna reach in there and pull the door panel away while pushing forward with our knees, keeping the door in place. That'll pop the door panel free. If it doesn't, sometimes you'll have to work around the outside of the door panel with a panel tool or a plastic pry tool, popping those clips free. Our door panel looked like it is mostly free all the way up. So at this point, what we can do is push up on both sides and lift it away from the door. You don't want to try and take it too far. You have electrical connections. One other thing to point out, when you start to move your door panel, you can see your clips are pointy. A lot of times your speakers are right here exposed. Try not to put your clips into your speakers. So be aware of where those are at all times. Now that they're set away, we can go ahead and start to remove our electrical connections and our door handle connections. All right, so we're going to remove this top wire or cable here. We need to get that clip here underneath and back off of that right there. And we can lift and rotate this catch up. Then we can lift out our cable. And pop it out of the clip and straight out. The bottom one is a little bit easier. We're just going to pry that straight up and off of this metal tab. Rotate that out. And do the same here. These clips here are very small and kind of finicky. So sometimes you'll have luck with a panel tool. We had luck with a hook tool. Okay, and set those aside. We're going to start working our electrical connections. For this, we're actually going to spin the door panel a little bit. Again, watching our speaker. All right, now if we follow that harness down, we have a connected harness here. So we'll need a panel tool or a clip tool to pop the clip off of the door panel itself. One more. And now our electrical connection to the entry light on our door panel. And with that, your door panel is now free to set aside. So to gain access to our regulator, we need to remove this insulation absorbent pad here. There are some areas where it is stuck to the door, and in some areas where it's plugged to the door. In these areas here, we're going to try a panel tool, see if we can get those plugs out, like so. Okay. And now the rest is going to be stuck on, you can see with this adhesive here. We're going to try not to separate the adhesive from the backing like it is here. We're going to try and take it all off together as much as possible. All right, well, it looks like most of it's already come off. Okay, we'll need to put our cables through this padding. All right, so now that we have our padding free, it's going to feed our cables through. All right, and so far, that's good enough. All right, we know we need to get right here on the inside. So what we can do is take this padding and just sit it off to the side. If you have a piece of tape, just go ahead and tape it to the front of the door panel to keep it up and out of the way. All right, with your window all the way down, you have access to these two bolts here. All right, so we're just going to take these 10 mil bolts out. Now your glass is free. That's what we're going to need to remove our regulator. But now we're going to raise our window all the way up and secure it in place up top. For this procedure, we're going to reconnect just the switch electrical. Okay. And we're going to put our window all the way up. And then we're going to disconnect our door panel again. All right, now that we have the window up, we're going to put some tape on the glass. And around the frame to hold the window up. We're going to do that in a couple of places. You may have to clean your glass to get a good stick. Don't expect it to stick to the gasket. You're just looking for a stick on the glass on both sides. All right, we're going to start by removing these two 10mm bolts. All right, we're going to move this harness out of the way for just a minute. We're going to remove these three 10mm bolts. We'll start with the bottom. All right. Now you can see our regulator is totally free. It's just being stopped by this little clip up here. But we also have a plug on the motor, an electrical plug on the motor down here. All right, so at this point, you can wiggle your regulator out of position, rotate it to one side, and what we're looking for is access to that electrical plug down the bottom here. Disconnect that plug. We can take our regulator right out. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is connect our electrical connection. We do have a little bit longer cable here, so we can do this with a little bit more room. All right, so now it's in the right orientation. It's going to go in the vehicle like this. So we're going to put the bottom in, and then slide it into position. We're going to line up the top two bolts, and we're going to start these by hand. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And this side here. All right, so now with our 10mm socket, we can tighten these up. All right, so now we can reconnect our door panel. This part's going to be a little tricky. You want to raise your new window regulator. You want to raise this piece and just be cautious that it lines up with your window glass. All right, once it's in place, you can go ahead and remove your tape. All right, now slowly keep an eye on here in your glass to make sure these two don't separate. Just lower your window all the way down. Disconnect the door panel. Now we can reinstall our two 10mm screws. Take our harness back out. All right, now we're going to test the operation a couple of times. We're going to watch up here, make sure it goes all the way, it goes straight. We're going to make sure inside everything is tight and not moving. go ahead and disconnect your door panel now, and we can start reassembly. All right, so now we can start to close up our door. We can reinstall our sound baffle or insulation. We're going to push in one clip on top here. I'll pull it back, feed our door handle and lock cable through, as well as our electrical connections through the middle. And put it back into position. Put the last plug in over here and press down anywhere you have that glue or tape still there. All right, so now we can connect our electrical connections back up. We have two of them. We have our window switch here, and we have our entry light here. And now we have a couple of push clips to hold the harness in place. From here we can spin the panel. Again, watching that we're not poking our speaker, we can start to reattach our lock and our door pull. Your clips here, make sure they're ready to go and not spun around reverse of what you need. We'll start with the bottom clip. We're just going to take this and sit it back into the metal tab. And we're going to take our end, pop it into place, and take our locking clip and lock that in place. Next, what we'll do on the top here is we'll lock in the front first. And then we'll take the back. You'll see that there are ribs, almost like a thread, on the cable side, and the opposite of that, receiving end, on this side. Just going to line that up and press your white clip here into place, like that. All right, so now with our interior pieces attached, we can take our door panel, sit it up on top of this ledge here. There's a little hook or a little channel. We can line that up, pull down, give it a nice little tap, a couple of bonks, rotate it in. Now if you remember, we had clips all the way around the exterior, the perimeter of our panel. So now what we're going to do is come back, a couple of taps all the way around the perimeter, locking in those tabs. And to double check, what I like to do is put one hand on the painted part of the door, one hand on the door panel, and just pull outward a little bit. It'll give you a good idea if any clips are free, but this one looks pretty solid, like we got them all. So now we can reinstall our bolts and screws. All right, so now we can install our screws. And two more up top. And we can install our cover. All right, and the last piece, your door panel, is going to be this trim. Just going to be these clips. What I like to do is just kind of line it up. And then squeeze this part together. And give these a tap.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.